People have given up on Western entertainment and looked to something like Japanese anime, manga, and video games, but also Korean entertainment, movies, TV shows, and also games like Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade blew up in popularity, made a ton of sales, and broke a bunch of records. But now, the first Descendant, an upcoming release, is finally showing off character teasers and trailers, and people are praising these devs for just creating games with attractive looking characters and spiffy looking gameplay. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I have previously talked about the first Descendant back a few months ago when tons of us were discussing people moving away from Western entertainment. This was back in March. It says Vindictus Defying Fate joins Stellar Blade and the First Descendant as upcoming games that resist ESG and allow women to be feminine instead of having a dog's face in a man's body. And of course, this was, closer to the beginning of Gamergate 2, specifically when it really kicked off and got the label because of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And we've seen this happening for a long time. People slowly moving away from Western entertainment and consuming other products. I love a lot of Korean MMOs. I love a lot of Japanese manga, anime, and video games. But of course, we're always looking for the next big thing. And Stellar Blade had yet to come out. We were all very hyped for that. And Vindictus Defying Fate looked like a really cool game. It looked like it was going to provide people who just want to see attractive looking characters a decent experience. But the first Descendant was also put on this list for, as it says, resisting ESG. And the reason why I praised it so highly is because we just simply have a group of developers creating what they want, and that being for the majority of people. Now, of course, there are games that release today, like Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, that are not trying to appeal to people like us, and that's perfectly fine. The developers are creating something they think is going to sell to modern audiences, aka sensitive snowflakes on social media, and they're allowed to create games like that. But we have seen titles like that fail time and time and time again. And something like The First Descendant looks like a mashup of other popular games and some that were less popular, like Anthem, for example. I've seen a lot of Anthem comparisons, but not necessarily negative ones. Anthem looked really cool when we just saw teasers and trailers, and a lot of people were hoping that was going to turn out to be the next big Call of Duty or Halo or Destiny. Unfortunately, it didn't. It was really low quality, monetization questionable. But with this, while it does have that same feeling, it also has the feeling of several other really amazing games like Remnant, for example. I loved Remnant and Remnant 2. I thought they were great. It feels like that. Also akin to something like Stellar Blade because it's got very flashy and attractive character models. Now, will this game come out and be the best game ever? I'm not sure. Haven't played it yet. It releases in a week. But I do know I, like many other people, will be giving it a chance. And now that it's so close to launch and they're putting out these character teasers and trailers, so many people are praising this game for being extremely sexy, but also looking like it's got very sharp, quick-paced combat, which, yes, people do want. I mean, here is the first character trailer for the character named Bunny, and you can tell right off the bat, the developers are not afraid to highlight the female character's best assets. I mean, this is an outfit that I personally think actually looks really fantastic. And this is something I said about Stellar Blade. A character doesn't have to be next to naked to look good. And in this case, she's got on a full bodysuit. You are not seeing any skin at all whatsoever, but her curves are highlighted. You can still see that she's got a very feminine body. She's got a lot of different elements, like the color scheme, for example. It just looks like a very well-designed character. Her ability set also looks really cool, like the speed of light ability as you're seeing here looks like it's going to be almost, I hate to compare it to Overwatch, but like a Tracer, very quick paced, being able to move around, enemies not being able to pay attention. You also have this maximum power beam, which looks awesome. A lot just with this game looks really cool. The grappling everywhere, the thrill bomb, and that's just one character. Then you have Valby, who also looks super freaking cute. I love seeing designs like this, very akin to Eve as well. It's just Korean entertainment where they're not afraid to make, female characters who look extremely feminine and male characters who look extremely masculine. And these are things we are seeing being villainized in Western entertainment. While, yes, we do still occasionally get the bombshell beautiful women or the very strong, hunky men, that's just not really the norm in Western game development, and it's a reason why so many people are disappointed with new title releases. And you also have Ajax, the ultimate protector with powerful barriers and unmatched charisma. And he just kind of seems overall like a Chad. He seems like the stereotypical hammer wielding badass who's not going to take no for an answer. He knows what he has to do. He has to get in, get the job done. He's a protector. His shielding and dome abilities, or it's called hyper cube, even though it looks like more of a dome to me, looks awesome. The orbital barrier. I mean, this game seems like it is going to be really, really fun. And one of the best, yet could turn out to be worse parts is the fact that this is a free to play game, because while I love hearing free to play, and it gives me a lot of confidence because it means people could simply test it out and not invest any money into it. At the same time, unfortunately, it is Nexon. They are known for questionable monetization. And at this point in time, we don't know what the monetization scheme is going to be for this game. And that, for me, is really the only reason why I still am not as excited as I was for something like Stellar Blade, because we're seeing this really speedy combat, cool looking, unique abilities, great character models. Monetization is really what is going to make or break this game. And I mean, even though we don't know, people are still very excited, saying this looks really cool. I'm super pumped. I hope this turns out to be as good as we have been expecting it. Tanky Boy, he's going to be my starter launch day. Can't wait to stream his gameplay. I do think that, because so many people just were playing Shadow of the Erdtree, and it is amazing, this is going to be a very different direction. But I do think that an action RPG shooter is a game that a lot of people will gravitate towards, especially one that's free to play. So I do hope that this game is not ruined by bad monetization practices, but it just goes to show how much hype you can get just by showing the types of character models people want to see in video games. Never mind when you add on the awesome looking gameplay, the variety of abilities. I mean, there is nothing with this game at this point in time that looks bad, and that's why so many people are praising it at this point. So it will be interesting to see when it comes out if it ends up being as good as we've all been hoping. It does look to be really, really solid so far, but with this level of hype that has surrounded it, it just goes to show that when companies are resisting things like ESG and creating what they want to create, and they know what players also want to consume, that a lot of games can turn out to be extremely successful, and this game is being praised for its sexiness, and it just shows that another group of Korean developers are fighting against the swelling tide of ESG. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.